Okay, hello. Um, First off, I'd like to thank League of LOL Moments 6176 and Sad MTN for commenting on my intro short. I uh, I was lying in bed and my heart jumped out of my chest as I saw that you guys had commented, and it made me so happy and it made me feel so grateful. And I smiled and I cried a bit and I laughed a bit, and it was really nice. And I'm very thankful. Like, you, just by commenting, made me feel a lot better. And I'm very grateful. And I would like to just tell you, like, if there's something I can do for you, just let me know. Because that was really nice. Thank you. I'm back at the place, one of my favorite places in this city, where I did the improvised ice rink yesterday. And yesterday was quite a tumultuous day. It started off really poorly. I ended up doing hastetime, is what we call it in Norwegian. It's like booking an appointment with a doctor at at short notice because you need help right now. And I ended up getting, like, and this was a private doctor, private GP, general practitioner, and leagues above any like public GP I've ever had and ever met. Like, as I was sitting there talking and crying and being all jittery and anxious and in a state of like autonomic dysregulation or sensitization or whatever it is, and talking a lot, talking quickly, the guy was writing it all down. He ordered me blood tests for HRT to make sure that I'm not in any danger. He gave me 2 prescription medications without me even, like, as I was done talking, he'd just done everything, and he took me seriously. And when I heard him say, like, that he's written me these prescriptions, I start bawling my eyes out. And I was talking about how I wasn't expecting to get help because I'm not used to getting help from doctors. And then he even started talking about how he agrees that the public health system isn't good enough, even though in Norway, it's way better than probably most places in the world. And then he started talking political about what he disagrees with and agrees with and so forth and so on. And it was just like this very wholesome moment of like finally feeling like I'm being heard. That was very nice. And so this night I tried a medication to help me with I have very intense like interoception. I can feel the stuff going on the inside a lot, especially when I'm wait a minute. No. Wait, is it working? I really hope it's working. What is that? Oh, please tell me it's working. Is that showing up like is working? Yeah, it's working. Okay. I would love to show you the setup. I made like a snow hylle. What would I call it in English? It's like a ledge for my backpack to sit on a slope, decline slope. The backpack and the camera might fall out, but we'll see. And this medication, beta blockers, they, like last night I actually managed to sleep without having to lie awake for hours, just feeling my heart pounding at all times. It's been like that for months, actually for years, but it got worse on HRT as I grew more sensitized by it. And like these last couple of months, I've been lying awake in bed for hours, feeling my heart pounding, like literally every heartbeat. For 90+% of the time, I'm feeling my heart beat. I got sidetracked. Sorry. I've been feeling my heartbeat, and it's like every single moment, every single heartbeat scares me. I don't know why I don't know why my brain is moving so slowly right now. I took another one of those because I'm supposed to take one of them each day, and it's maybe kicking in, and I'm a little bit tired, a bit, you know. Uh, but I actually slept well, I think. I don't even know anymore, but I think I slept well. I woke up at like 5 in the morning and didn't fall asleep again for like 2 hours. But those 2 hours were actually like, yes, my body is in pain, burning sensation underneath my skin, prickling like pins and needles, aching, and I have to move around a lot because I don't know what it is, but it's like specific different portions of my body start contracting a lot and cause a lot of tension and pain, and so I have to move to like alleviate that. And but I was feeling like there was this new sensation of warmth in my body, this sensation of like muscles and stuff being able to elongate, and I was able to breathe better. Even though I'm lying there in pain, I'm able to, as best as I can, I'm actually able to relax in the pain, and I'm lying there and I'm smiling. And I don't have to listen to or feel my heart beat at all times. And honestly, I'm kind of sad that I'm not like just bawling my eyes out and crying right now about this. I did earlier in the shower when I was preparing to talk about this with you guys, but when the camera turns on, I start masking. But in those 2 hours, I was lying in bed and I was actually enjoying myself, even though I'm in constant pain in my entire body. I was actually at least like I didn't feel my heart beating at all times and jump scaring me at all times. Lying there, just feeling like my body is, oh my God, feeling like my body is fighting me or fighting itself at all moments. Is the camera sloping downwards slowly? I don't know, maybe. And it made me really hopeful because I hope that means that maybe I can continue on HRT. Maybe I can actually increase my dosage. I don't know yet, but we'll see. And hopefully, I'm crossing fingers. And I woke up this morning, when I woke up again at like 11, what is it, like 11 a.m., which is morning for me. uh, I walked into the living room where my brother sat and my mom was, and I was smiling. And I felt genuinely happy. Like, at least genuinely, like, I have found something that maybe actually can help me, like, actually keep going. Like, not hit, because as I've said, I have autism, and I keep getting these meltdowns, and I keep feeling exhausted and wired and burned out all the time. And finally, like yesterday, I didn't have to be scared of my heartbeat at all times. Like it feels like it's shaking my entire body, and I just I can't move my attention away from it. It's seriously like, with autism and ADHD, you can oftentimes also have executive dysfunction, like parts of your brain that are supposed to be active and responsible for directing attention or uh, your willpower, your ability to plan ahead, make decisions, so forth and so on, like control centers of your brain, they can be dysregulated or dysfunctional or just, I don't know what words are best to use, but with autism and ADHD, you can have so-called executive dysfunction. It's very common. And to lie in bed and to constantly be jump scared by your own heart, you're feeling it at all times. And my heartbeat is like, on average, it lies above 80 at rest, and it does not feel like it's a resting heartbeat. Not at all, because it doesn't feel restful. And it makes me really uneasy to have to lie there and listen to it and feel it. And my body's shaking because of it and so forth. Shaking, like in the sense of, it feels like it's so powerful that I can feel like the rippling movements of my body as a result of the pounding of the heart. And last night I didn't have to deal with that. Like usually it's like 90% of the time I'm lying there and being jump scared by every single heartbeat for many hours on end. And yesterday it was like at most 10%. It was like the other way around, like 90% of the time it was quiet. Oh my god. Oh. And I was starting to feel like warm, as I said, in my body. And my muscles were able to relax. I was able to breathe and feel like I was expanding and like actually progressively getting more and more relaxed instead of just like almost waiting to be so exhausted that your brain just shuts off and you go into sleep, almost brute force, through brute force. And those 2 hours from 5 a.m. to 7 a.m., as I said, they were enjoyable. How many? Wow, time moves. They were enjoyable. I was actually enjoying myself, even though I'm in pain, and that tells you something about my health. Like, even though I'm lying there, my entire body is in pain. It's aching, and I have such tremendously loud tinnitus. I don't. It is, and I've had it for as long as I can remember, at least from like early teens. Completely consistent, stable, same volume ever since. I don't even know when it started. I just remember lying in bed and just wondering, is this the sound of the universe? Is this what it is to be quiet? Is this what it's supposed to be like? And it's been constant ever since. Every single day, absolutely all the time. And those 2 hours from 5 a.m. to 7 a.m., they were actually enjoyable. I actually started feeling hope. And then you two beautiful people, League of LOL Moments, 6176, and Sad Mountain, or Sad MTN, commenting what you did. Like, I'm actually starting to feel, and I'm afraid to get hopeful, but I'm actually starting to feel like some things, not just starting to feel, some things are turning around, some things are actually turning around, and I hope so much that this medication is actually like something that can consistently help me stay sane and regulated in this body that keeps yelling out in pain and agony. And like, I want to tell you something that I don't know how it feels like for you guys to hear this, but I want to be open about stuff, I've had very, like, before I started HRT, and by the way, I'm about to talk about something sexual. I'm not going to go into explicit details, but I'm going to say some stuff. And before HRT, I had high libido, and starting HRT, I continued to have high libido for a few months, and then like month 3, 4, and 5 or something. I'm on month 5 now, I guess. I have had no libido and a lot of body shame, and just not wanted to touch my body, not wanted really to see my body, not wanted really to be sexually stimulated. And I'm also very like, I don't have sex with other people. I'm too afraid, and I'm too sensitive, and I'm not sure if people would be able to take care of me, because I have a lot of needs in terms of the other person being completely safe and supporting, and like, let's take this slow, let's get to know each other, let's not rush things, and so forth and so on. So I don't have a lot of experience with other people, but last night, from those 2 hours, 5 a.m. to 7 a.m., there was a point at which, and I have hard flaccid, by the way, and to all of you that have hard flaccid, oh my God, it sucks so much. I sympathize. It sucks. It really, really sucks. But I was lying in bed, and on HRT, and to all the people out there that are not on an estrogen-dominated hormone system and have a testosterone-dominated hormone system, just know that with an estrogen-dominated hormone system, like even your skin can be an erogenous zone. So please be kind to women. Don't rush things, because they don't feel things like you do, or people that have estrogen-dominated hormone systems, they don't feel things the way you feel when you have a testosterone-dominated hormone system. Okay? Please be understanding about that. Even the skin can be an erogenous zone for people with estrogen-dominated hormone systems. And I was lying in bed, and for months my body has been like a no-touch zone, or like stay away zone. No sexual erogenous stimulation whatsoever. I don't want it because it feels uncomfortable, and it's way too much. It's way too intense, and I feel disgusted. I feel disgusting, and so forth and so on, which are very bad thoughts. And of course, it isn't true, but it's very common to think those things, and it's okay if you do too. And I have, and this, I don't know if this is okay for you to hear, but I had, before HRT, probably quite above average sensitive nipples, and after HRT, they have become like weapons of mass destruction. Like, oh my God, what is happening? What is happening? It is like, I don't know, getting shot in the chest. I haven't gotten shot in the chest. I hope I never do. I hope nobody else ever does again. But it was like, and I have monotropism, as is common with autism. And so you can, well, if you have autism, you can imagine like, just, well, I can try, maybe try explaining monotropism for a bit. Monotropism being a feature of your attentional system. It is contrasted with polytropism. Polytropism, poly being Latin or Greek or something, meaning many, mono meaning one or singular, and tropism or tropic having to do with growth or development, I think. I don't know why it's called that in terms of this attentional system paradigm, but the monotropic attentional system or attentional feature is, you can think of it in terms of, as a metaphor, verticality and horizontality, where horizontality is an ability to pay attention to several things, or to move your attention across several things with ease, but not necessarily go so deep into it. So you can think of it high horizontality. You can scan. It's not literally scanning sideways and up and down. That's not what I'm saying, but it's more like a metaphor for the idea of being able to shift attention to many things, but not have that big depth necessarily of attention. And oh my God, I'm sorry about that. But, and monotropism, having a very localized and concentrated attentional spotlight, where you're focusing on a few things or one thing, and it's very intense. So you have a lot of verticality. You can go really deep into something in terms of deep focus, and it can get very intense, and other things around you can get like shut out. Like you don't pay attention to it, you can't pay attention to it. Your attentional system is literally designed in such a way that you have more verticality as opposed to horizontality if you have the monotropic attentional system. And so in terms of nipples, already being a small localized erogenous zone, in addition to a sensitized nervous system that I have, overly sensitized nervous system, and the monotropic attention paradigm, making for these incredibly powerful jolts of stimulation upon touching. And it depends upon the situation that I'm in. Now that I'm doing many other things, you know, because of the monotropism, I wouldn't have all of my attention localized and focused on the nipples if I were to touch them now. But if I lie in bed and the lights are off and I'm closing my eyes and such, all of my attention and attentional resources can be allocated to the processing monotropically of... Oh, that's annoying. Can you hear that? Oh, I'm so sorry. What do I do? I'm going to try moving away. So, I did not expect to talk about my nipples for this long, but it made me really happy because they were alive again. They've been like alive in a good way. They've been alive in a bad way for many months, in the sense of like they're very uncomfortable. And now it was like I can touch them for a second and then I have to stop because it's too much. But if I can ease into it, and this, by the way, is why I'm saying, like, of course I haven't been that sexually active with other people when my body is this sensitive. Most people wouldn't be compassionate and cautious and careful enough and sensitive enough to take care of somebody else that is this sensitive, which is really sad. And more people should be that way. More people should be able to take care of even the most sensitive of us in society. And so I was lying there and I was able to, am I allowed to talk about this? I hope so. I was able to touch my nipples, and even though I only did it for like a second and then a pause and then a few more seconds and then a pause and then stop, it felt good. And my body was warm, my body was relaxing, my body was okay with it. And my hard flaccid was literally in the moment reducing, like going away. It comes back, of course, but it was going away for those few moments. And so my libido, I was like, my libido, it's not that my libido is necessarily gone. It's that it's changed, which is normal on HRT, and it's been hidden behind an overly sensitized nervous system that is so constantly in a state of fight or flight or alarm something that it isn't capable of a parasympathetic enough response or state to accommodate or become available to the erogenous stimulation in a good way. Parasympathetic, by the way, is one of the two branches of the autonomic nervous system, and it has to do with resting, digesting, and what you in general would experience as relaxing stuff, good feelings, calm, and so forth, whereas sympathetic is the opposite, more to do with active initiation of actions or of stress responses or of preparing to perform work or do things and so forth and so on. So these beta blockers, they were actually, which is the medication that I got from the doctor on a prescription, and I am on the lowest dose, and I only take one a day. I hope so much that it continues to be this, because it's such a boon and it's such a buoy. And of course, please, if you are interested in beta blockers, just because of what I'm saying now, talk to your doctors. Do not take any advice from me in terms of medication and so forth. I cannot and will not be responsible for that, which is, of course, understandable. You understand that. But, like, yeah. So, that is some of the stuff that's been happening over the last 24 hours. And I am so eternally grateful to that doctor that actually listened to me. And I'm so grateful, again, to League of LOL Moments 6176 and Sad Mountain for commenting. I don't know if you're ever going to hear this, but I'm very grateful. And if you ever need help in any way that I can help, and it's responsible for me to help, and within community guidelines, if you need a place to be or somebody to talk to every once in a while, leave a comment or just watch a video. Yeah. So, and that goes for everyone. Hi. I think I'm going to end the video there. 26 minutes. That's okay. It was an important topic. And I'm feeling hopeful. I'm feeling really hopeful. I really, really, really want things to start getting better. So yeah, thank you for listening and take care. Be kind to yourself, and I hope to see you again.